Fellow Patriotic Africans, happy Easter. I bring you Easter greetings. Just a quick reminder, I just want to encourage you to keep following the guidelines as prescribed by your medical and local authority as a way to prevent the spread of coronavirus and as well as fight the coronavirus. As we are in the middle of this third world war, if you don't know, this is a third world war that we are fighting. Once again, a war we did not commit, but we are fighting. A war we did not cost, but we are fighting. That is not what bothers me so much. What bothers me so much is the fear of death that has grabbed and taken hold of our hearts. We're so much scared to die. I'm not encouraging you to commit suicide, or I'm not encouraging you that if you see an accident, if you see death coming, you should stay. No. Even Jesus Christ, the Bible tells us in the book of John that when the Pharisee picked stones to stone him, he knew it wasn't time for him to die. He escaped, he hid, and he ran away from the temple. So if you see that coming, I want you to run. But what I want you to always think of and be scared of is not the fear of death, but the fear of dying without impacting a life on earth. That's the most important thing. Have you impacted a life? Have you done anything that you've not been paid to do? Have you done anything, sacrificed to do anything to change the village that you live in, the city that you live in, the country that you live in, without asking for a paycheck? For those of you out there who are privileged to have acquired some education, is it just enough for you to keep your job? Is it just enough for you to work and have a paycheck? Or you are trying your best to change the community that you live in with the knowledge that you acquire from school? Let me tell you something. You will never be remembered for how long you live. You can only be remembered for how long you live during your burial and a few months after that. But if you solve a problem that faces the world or your city or your country or your village, you will always be remembered for that. I will challenge you to think about people like Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't live for 100 years, but he will be remembered for as long as the world exists. If you go back to the history of Africa and you read about those people that come to Africa, the Alfred Sakers, the Consort Hayward, you read about them, they were young. They came in their very young ages and colonized us because they needed a change in their country. What are we as youth doing to change our country? Do we have that courage to go out there and do something that will change just one person, that will impact the life of just one person? I can tell you now that our country, or that your village, that city that you live in, it is still the way it is because you are sitting on top of your ideas. The world's problems are solved by ideas. You have to bring forth your ideas. If you don't have money, there's somebody willing to sponsor that idea, but you have to bring forth that idea. Because if you don't bring forth that idea, you will sit on that idea, you will die, and the problems will continue. I challenge you today that let the fear of death not preoccupy your mind, but the fear of dying without fulfilling your purpose on this planet Earth, the fear of dying without impacting a life on this planet Earth. And this is what my trouble has been ever since I became an adult. Always thinking, if I were to die today, would there be a single individual that will say I inspire them? Would there be a single individual that will say, oh, my life has changed because of what you did? So I challenge all of us today to begin to come together. I invite you to join a platform or start one. One of which I want to invite you today is the African Patriotic Youth Council, operating already in 36 countries in Africa. And recently we just started the African Patriotic Youth Council Diaspora. So if you're in a diaspora, I encourage you and I beg you to go onto Facebook and type African Patriotic Youth Council and subscribe to that page, because great things are coming our way. We have wonderful men and women putting their head together to bring the change, and you don't want to be left out. I want you to be part of this change, so that when death takes you, so that when God calls you, I remember this great American hero who just died, Mr. Elijah Cummings, passed away. May his soul rest in peace. And he said, In Congress, he said, when we are dancing with the angels, when we must have died and we are dancing with the angels, what shall we tell the angels about our country? And that is the question I'm asking you today. That when you finally die, what will you tell your soul? How will you feel? And that if you get a chance to dance with the angel and you're dancing with the angels, what will you tell the angels? That will you be proud to tell the angels that I contributed my own quarters to the betterment of this country? That I contributed my own quarter to the betterment of this great continent? Or you will just look at the angels and say, oh, I wish I knew. Do you know how many times you have an idea and then you don't speak out? Before you know, somebody pops somewhere with a similar idea and you're like, oh, I thought about this. Yes, you thought about it, but you sat on it. So don't kill those ideas. Bring them forth. No matter how stupid your idea is, there is somebody who supports that idea. And I can tell you that your village is still underdeveloped. Your country is still suffering certain things because you have that book you are still to write. Because you have that book that you want to write and you haven't written that book. Because of that idea that you have and you're sitting on it. Because of that song that you want to sing and pass a message and you haven't sang that song yet. You are killing your country instead of helping it. Do we want to leave Africa the way we made it? Let me tell you, coronavirus will come and go. Other pandemics have come and gone. Coronavirus will come and go. Another pandemic will come 6 years from now. 10 years from now, another pandemic will come and it will go. Do you know that even coronavirus that we're talking about, coronavirus and Ebola put together will not kill as many African youth as abject poverty has done or has killed. Coronavirus will not kill as many Nigerian youth as armed conflict has killed. Coronavirus will not kill as many Nigerian youth as Boko Haram has killed. Coronavirus will not kill as many Cameroonians as armed conflict has killed. In the past 3 years, thousands of young patriotic youths, thousands of vibrant Cameroonians have lost their life to gun violence. And I can tell you, no matter how coronavirus kills, it can never kill as gun violence has killed in Cameroon. You go to South Sudan, you go to Central African Republic, you go to Somalia, violence everywhere. So the real threat to our life is not even this coronavirus. The real threat to our life is the lack of ability to be concerned. We lack the ability to act as if this is our continent. We lack the courage to stand up and face the problem that challenge our country. So I challenge you today that as you sit home during this period, not working, not going anywhere, begin to think on how to materialize that idea that you have. Begin to think of how to create or join a platform that together we can begin to brainstorm. Together we can begin to bring ideas together to solve the problem of Africa. We are a great continent. We are great people. But our greatness can only be seen if we stand up and begin to take action. Sitting down with that idea will never help. It is not enough that you like a video that I make. It's not enough that you like an article that I write. But it is enough that if all you can do is to write your own article, write it. If all you can do is to start a platform, if all you can do is to bring an idea, bring it forth. It's unfortunate that we live in a continent. They always say the problem shared is a problem solved. We have shared our problems for years with our politicians, with our leaders, but it's not a problem solved. You know why? Because our politicians do not have an idea of nation building. They don't have an idea of what it is to build a nation. They don't. It is us, the youth, especially those of you in the diaspora, that God has given you this golden opportunity to leave Africa, to enjoy Western democracy. The question I ask you is, do you want to go back and live in the same country the way you left it? Or do you desire to make a change? And if you do desire to make that change, what are you waiting for? Do you want to be old until you develop gray hair before you start acting? No. You can start now. It is never too late. If you didn't start, the fact that you didn't start yesterday doesn't mean you cannot start now. And the fact that your father did not do it doesn't mean you cannot do it. Yes, you can do it. And we must do it. We shall overcome. We must overcome. Because if we don't overcome, we shall be overcome. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to Divine Inspiration. But most importantly, I want you to go on Facebook, especially if you are in the diaspora. I want you to go on Facebook and look at African Patriotic Youth Council. Like that page, share that page. Give that information out. Share it to a brother, to a friend, to a sister. Together, we want men and women that love Africa to come together and see what we can do to beautify our country, to fix our country that our greedy leaders have refused to fix. We can do it. We might not be in a position of power, but we're in a possession of ideas. And it is the ideas, it is our ideas, our brilliant ideas that can dispose those people. You know, remember about displacement reaction? It is our ideas that has enough energy to displace them. So we must come together and work as a team. Thank you, my fellow Africa. And if you're still living in Africa, the African Patriotic Youth Council is operating in 36 African states already. I don't know if you are not a member. I don't know why you are still waiting. I hope that this message will sound like a reminder to you to join the African Patriotic Youth Council. If you are in Africa, join the African Patriotic Youth Council. If in Africa chapter, if you're in Cameroon, join the Cameroon chapter. If you are in Kenya, join the Kenya chapter. If you're in Nigeria, you join the Nigerian chapter. Follow us on Facebook. Give us your number. Send us a message. Send us an email. Chat us up. Let us see the way forward, what we can do to change the continent in which we live in, so that in the words of Mr. Elijah Cummings, when we finally die and we are dancing with the angels, we will tell the angels that yes, indeed, we contributed our quarters. You might think that somebody will not hear you. No, somebody will hear you. And you might think that your idea is too low, your idea is too bad. No, bring it forth. You never know. You just don't know. But we have to do this. And if we must do it, we must do it together. Thank you so much for watching. I will always love you all. Thank you.